I want your thoughts, but I also want you to pick up on something else she did that was really important. She defended Vindman, and she stripped the Republicans of their smear on Vindman. And she did it in the way that she so artfully did everything. Let me show that to you.
I think it's very unfortunate. I mean, this is a country of immigrants. You know, with the exception, you know, perhaps of very few people still here, everyone immigrated to the United States at some point in their family history. And this is what, for me, really does make America great. I mean, I'm sure that every single person here, some people perhaps came reluctantly, others came by choice, as I did. But this is, for me, this is the essence of America. It's why I wanted to be here and why I wanted to stay here. And I think it's unfair to castigate anyone. Everyone has some kind of appellate to them. I'm an Anglo-American, perhaps, then, or I'm a British American. I'm a naturalized citizen. I do not believe that my loyalty is to the United Kingdom. My loyalty is here to the United States. This is my country and the country that I serve. And I know for a fact that every single one of my colleagues, and there were many naturalized citizens in my office and across the National Security Council, felt exactly the same way. I think it's deeply unfair.
I get chills listening to that, and I mean, shame on all of the people who went on television and questioned the patriotism of Colonel Vindman.
That was, you know, if in the category of disgusting, that was the most disgusting thing we saw Republicans do in this hearing, I think, was to go after Vindman in that way. I love the North England accent, which at another point she pointed out, it's actually a working class accent that she has, and she would have had fewer opportunities in class stratified Britain than she had in this country, and that's what America is about to her. She is definitely the person you said she was a warm knife through, but I want her on my side of the knife fight. She would slice you and dice you before you realized you had been cut. But to the Bolton question, yes, we need to hear from John Bolton, but he's not the only witness we need to hear from. Sure. If the president did nothing wrong, he was wholly within his presidential powers. He was only concerned about corruption in an ally like Ukraine, and it was all innocent. Then Secretary Pompeo, Chief of Staff Mulvaney, all the other people who have been implicated in this drug deal.
By Gordon Sondland, a Republican.
Exactly. Either knowing about it or participating in it. Allow them to come and testify and explain how everything was on the up and up. Yet the White House will not allow them to testify.
Can you just underscore the significance of what she said there? She's almost describing, you know, like an Oprah, you know, saying that I was so mad at Gordon Sondland. And she had this moment that I think women will be talking about for years, that when women are angry, sometimes it reads wrong, and I'll officially nominate her to explain that to the world. Not that you need it explained to you, because you're very enlightened, Chuck Rosenberg, but all the men here are very enlightened.
I'll stay out of it.
No, but she gets into that point. We played the soundbite already, but she makes the point so artfully, saying, I was so mad at Gordon. And I'd heard this since sort of around her closed-door testimony. She was so angry at Gordon Sondland, angry at his conduct, and then she realizes he's answering to the president. He's answering to the vice president. He's answering to Mike Pompeo. And he's on a domestic political errand.
Right. I was struck by a number of things she said, but that when that realization hit her, it must have been a horrible feeling, right? To realize that the thing that she had been working for, her area of expertise, you know, this thing that we were doing for the Ukrainians, allegedly, had been taken from her. And so it must have been incredibly difficult. Can I just go back to one other thing she said, because it also struck me, it resonates with me. When she was describing the fact that she's an immigrant and we are a nation of immigrants, she said, this is what makes America great. Because that is what makes America great, there's no need to make America great again.
No, that's a good point. Karine, I want you to pick up, though, on what she did to corroborate Sondland's testimony yesterday by saying, I realized in an instant, it wasn't in a regular channel on a regular channel. There was the channel. It was directed by Donald Trump. Gordon was answering to the president, who had sent him on a domestic political errand. Now, this Republican talking point that, oh, president set policy, this wasn't a policy he set. This was a political hit job he ordered from his diplomatic corps.
Yeah, so just to reset for a second, yesterday we heard from Gordon Sondland, who basically bought his way into power. Today we heard from two witnesses who are experts in their field, and they earned their positions. They're not political, they're not partisan, they told their truth, and that is the difference between what we saw yesterday and what we saw today. And you had Dr. Hill, who just brought facts. And even Republicans, some of them didn't even ask her questions. And when they did, they just yelled at her or, you know, used their soapbox. And when they did, they just presented fiction. And that's how they dealt with this. And I want to say one more thing about the Vindman defense. I am an immigrant, and I got to work in the White House under the Obama administration. When she said and I thought that defense was one of the most amazing things that I've seen in the
back now with a rebuke, a harsh indictment of the spreading of conspiracy theories by people, she didn't name names, but I will, people like Devin Nunes, who have used election meddling. I thought she set the tone for the entire day. I thought she fact-shamed the Republicans by starting that way, and I wonder your thoughts on the significance of that. First, Frank Figliuzzi.
Yeah, I just quietly cheered when I heard her call out the GOP membership on this. And, you know, they try to speak with forked tongue. So their response to this, as with most responses from liars and bullies, was they kind of changed their tune. And we saw them waving around their report saying, hey, we've acknowledged before that Russia had a role and was meddling in the election. But you can't have it both ways. You can't go out and say, hey, it was Ukraine that did it, not Russia, and then wave around a report that says, no, we acknowledge Russia did it. Let's remember something. The President of the United States said it could be Russia, it could be bed. So which is it? Are the Republicans saying we're with the president and there's this alternative option that we don't believe Mueller and we think Ukraine did it? Or are you saying the president is wrong and now we're acknowledging it was all about Russia? You can't have it both ways. Fiona Hill called them out on it, and it was beautiful.
I want